All right, this is 8th grade, Module 4, Lesson 16. This is on the computation of the slope as a non-vertical line. So in the last lesson, they gave us a set of dots on the line, and we had to find the rise and run, also known as the slope. And if you notice this time, they didn't give us any dots, and that's okay. A lot of times they don't. So we have to kind of put in our own dots. Now you want to pick a point, 2 points on this line where it's not in the middle of the graph box, I guess you can call it, the graph paper. So I'm not going to pick something right here because that's not going to be a whole number that I can use. Of course I could, but to find that exact point requires a lot more math. Let's make it a little easy. If you look here, it lands perfectly at the coordinates 2, 1. And that's something you want to look for. So we're going to pick that dot there. And then if I continue the line up, I see that I also hit perfectly on the square of that graph paper at 3 and 4. So now I've created my own set of dots and I can find my rise and my run. So I'm going to rise 3 boxes and I'm going to run 1, which means that my slope is 3 to 1. And in the last lesson we learned you can drop the 1 and just say m equals 3. Using m is the variable that we use to represent slope. All right, I'm going to go ahead and scroll this to example 2. Using what you've learned in the last lesson, determine the slope again. So here we go. I'm going to kind of follow this line. I could use this dot. Actually, there's several here. I can use that one, that one, that one, or that one, and even this one way up here, even though it's kind of off the graph paper. You have several here to choose from. Now, if you want to go from the negatives, that's fine. I like to I'll just pick this one here because it lands perfectly on this line. I'm going to go up 2 units, and I'm going to go over 1 unit, creating the slope of 2 to 1. So we're going to say m equals 2. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let you do example 3. All right, now we have this exercise, and I'm actually going to bring my screen size down a little bit so it all fits there. I'm going to find my slope again, so I'm going to pick 2 points here. I see right away, I see this one and I see this one. Now again, you could follow that line and find a lot of other points. So I'm going to go up 2 and I'm going to go over 1. So I know my slope is going to be a 2 to 1. So we're going to say 2. Now, if I scroll this down, we have a set of points or questions here to answer. I'm going to erase that real quick. It says, select any 2 points on the line and label them P and R. Okay, so actually, I'm going to move my graph back up and label those P and R. So I had picked this one and I picked this one. And if you remember, they were using P and R on our last lesson in lesson 15. So you label them P and R. Now it says to identify those points, and that's for B. So I'm going to erase this so I can bring it back down. Identify those points. So the points that I chose, now again, you could pick any other points that you pick, that you want to pick. I'm going to say -2, 1, and -1, 3. Those were the 2 points that I picked. Don't forget that it's always X, then Y. That's always going to go this way first, and then this way. All right, and then I think you can answer C by now. That's a pretty easy one. And this was a very quick lesson, so that ends our tutorial.